happy this morning to be joined by Leah with Jung Garden Center. Good morning, Leah. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm great, and I couldn't think of a better week to talk a little gardening. It is perfect gardening weather out there.
Yes, absolutely beautiful.
I looked at the 7-day forecast earlier this morning, and I actually took a screenshot of it because I sent it to my wife, and I'm like, this might be one of the most beautiful forecasts I've ever seen.
Yes, 80s next week.
80s
Are we
next
ready?
week. I'm ready. Break out the shorts and T-shirts.
Right.
I'm all for it. Well, we are excited to have you here. It's always nice to have Jung Garden Center here each week to talk a little gardening this time of year. If you've got a question for Leah about your garden, feel free to give us a call at 920-885-4446. That's 885-4446. Or you can send us a text if that's easier at 887-9595. Again, the text line is 887-9595. So give us a call or shoot us a text with any of your gardening-related questions if you're starting to get things in the ground or going, oh, man, I bought these, but I don't know. What should I be pruning? What should I be doing for mulch or whatever it may be? Leah is quite knowledgeable and always happy to answer your questions. So give us a call or a text. But while we wait for some calls and texts come in, Leah, let's talk a little bit about some of the great things going on at Jung Garden Center, because this is kind of peak season here in the spring, and there is a lot going on that we got to talk about.
May is our busiest month.
Yeah, tell us what's going on. I imagine you are getting a lot of things in pretty often right now.
Yes, every day is a different delivery.
Every day is a different delivery. What kind of things are you seeing getting delivered right now?
Right now, we've got in-house grown hanging baskets, vegetables, trees, shrubs, a lot going in. We've got annuals from our other vendors coming into, other nursery items coming in. The garden centers, all of them are beautiful.
And, you mentioned the hanging baskets, and I know those are very, very popular. People love those. And on top of being popular and beautiful right now, you got a little discount going on some of those hanging baskets, don't you?
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, I guess, it's Friday, right?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to this week is just like flying by.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, the 9th, our 12-inch hanging baskets will be buy one, get one half off.
Okay.
Kind of a Mother's Day sale going on.
Nice. Very good. Speaking of Mother's Day, that's coming up on Sunday. You got some other stuff going around. I imagine some good gift shopping for Mom?
Yes. There's a lot of cute little gifty items in our stores, birdhouses, books. I mean, there's a lot. We've got these cute little moss purses and owls that are potted with some annuals. They're really cute. We're also running like a spring bloom sale for some trees, some spring snow crabapple, a Sargentina crabapple, a dwarf Korean lilac. Those are running at 50% off while supplies last.
Okay, very good. So some great opportunities if Mom maybe wants a new tree in the yard to set her up. And I know a lot of moms really enjoy the bulbs. You guys can have bulbs as well.
Yep. So we still have a good selection of summer bulbs, the glads, dahlias. All of those are 35% off right now as well.
All right, very good. And I want to double check because this is that time of year where you're starting to kind of transition. I imagine bare root room is done for the year now.
Yes, our bare root season is closed, so now we can focus all of our staff and attention to inside the store and all of the product that's outside as well.
Is that pretty typical that kind of wraps up right around that time of year where we start to actually see some warmth?
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of the items that we offer in our bare root room are also a container item out in our nursery yard as well.
Sure.
So.
Again, the phone number, if you've got a question, is 885-4446, or feel free to send us a text at 887-9595. We have Leah from Jung Garden Center with us here on The Garden Doctor. And remind folks what the hours are over at Jung Garden Center.
Our Randolph store hour is Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. We're always closed on Sundays.
Okay.
Our Madison stores, however, are 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and 10 to 4 on Sundays.
All right, very good. So head on over there and check out their fantastic selection. I mean, we were just talking about a lot of the different things that you've got over there. One of the things I wanted to talk about too is now that we're getting into those warm months, one of the things you guys have there is some tropical plants. Can you talk about a little bit of the selection that you've got there?
Sure. So we've got a lot of tropical hibiscus. Think Hawaii.
Yeah, I know. I love hibiscus. It always just makes
Yep.
me think of the beach.
Yep, something nice and pretty, bright to have on your deck or patio. They are tropical. Treat them as an annual. Bring them into the house for the winter. A good selection of that, and even some of our house plants can be considered, put outside as a tropical. Nice selection of those too. Mandevillas, bougainvilleas. Yeah, they're beautiful.
I was gonna say you've got some pictures over on the Jung Garden Center Facebook page of some of these, and they're just gorgeous.
Yes.
Just beautiful. They'd make a really nice little addition to.
Yes, absolutely.
Are they good for inside, outside? Mostly just outside, probably.
Well, outside during the summer.
Yeah.
But because they are tropical, they're not zone hardy. So if you want to keep them, you would certainly have to bring them in before it freezes.
All right. Again, our phone number 885-4446, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. And we've got our first caller of the morning. We'll go over to line 1. Good morning. You are on with the Garden Doctor.
Good morning. I bought some rhubarb plants when we were over at Jung's a few weeks back. Now I'm wondering where I should plant them. Can I plant them near an LP tank?
Good question.
I would think so. I don't think there would be any restriction.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with the gas company.
Yeah.
Check
that.
Yeah.
As far as
LP tank, so I know where the line is. But I didn't know if sometimes sometimes you can smell like a little gas aroma. If that would affect the growing.
No, it shouldn't. Rhubarb is a heavy feeder, so make sure you use a lot of compost, a lot of nitrogen fertilizer.
For the first year or all the time?
You go easy on it this first year,
Okay.
but years after, keep doing it, and even maybe a little mulch around it too, just to help keep some of the grassy weeds out.
That is in the ground. Well, I was born and raised on a farm, and I can remember years ago my dad would go into the box stall and just bring out pitchforks of manure
Yes.
and put it on that rhubarb.
Yep. Make sure it's well-aged manure if you do use manure.
Because I was just looking at a good spot. It's like, well, right there, with the lawnmower and stuff, maybe that would be out of my way a little bit. So,
Right.
But it would still get a lot of the sun.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for the call. Again, our phone number is 885-4446, or you can shoot us a text at 887-9595. If you've got a question for the Garden Doctor, Leah from Jung Garden Center here with us, and we've got our first text message coming in asking about, and this is a great topic, actually. I love getting into this sometimes because it's sometimes it's not thought of much, but what are some really good ground cover plants for our area? They've got a large area of rough ground that was covered in nettles and some weeds, and have gotten that all gone, and now think about some ground cover plants. What are some good ground cover plants for our area?
Well, we have, if it's a shaded area, we have Pachysandra, Vincas, Sweet woodruff. They can take over. There's a ginger that is a good ground cover as well. Those are mostly for deep shade areas. For a sunny area, we look at doing some sedums.
Okay. Gotcha.
There are some annuals that could be used in there as well, but for perennials, I would recommend just various types of ground cover sedums. They're pretty hardy. They can tolerate drought and the hot sun, and just let them sprawl out and do their thing.
All right, very good. Again, our phone number is 885-4446. The text line is 887-9595. Looks like we've got another caller hanging on the line. We'll head back over to line 1. Good morning. You are on with the Garden Doctor.
Hi, good morning. I have a question as far as a crabapple tree that I planted about 2 years ago. It's doing very well. Last year I noticed there was rust spots on the leaves. Is there something I can spray on them so to prevent the rust spots on the leaves?
Yes, so you're wanting to do like a copper fungicide. Those those are more preventative than curative.
Oh.
So especially if you start noticing wet weather coming, wet humid weather, try to get into a routine on spraying those a little bit more often.
Okay.
Of course, follow the instructions on the label as far
Okay.
as the intervals on spraying, because some items are 7 days and some might be 14 to 21 days.
Okay. Can I start spraying now before the blossoms, or should I wait till it blossoms, or?
I would wait until it's leafed out, which it probably is now. I would imagine.
You
Yes,
mean
I would. I
no
would wait
wet-
until
there's
after it's
no
done
blo-
flowering, and
Okay.
also good fall cleanup too. When the tree loses all of its leaves in the fall, rake those up and dispose of them.
The leaves?
Yes.
You mean?
Yep. When the leaves fall on the ground, just try to get rid of them. A lot of
Okay.
the spores can overwinter in the foliage.
Okay, but wait till after the flowers.
Yes,
are
I
gone.
would.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. Have a nice day.
All right, another excellent question. 885-4446 is our phone number if you want to call in with a question on anything in your garden. Otherwise, shoot us a text at 887-9595. We're here with Leah from Jung Garden Center. This is the Garden Doctor, and it looks like we've got another text coming in on the text line. And this is another excellent topic for this time of year as we get ready to plant tomatoes. And they say, should I rotate my tomatoes in different planter boxes, or can I plant in the same box year after year? So specifically for planter boxes.
For planter boxes, yes, I would still rotate.
Okay.
And I would go from box to box and not really end to end in a box, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Sort of. Yeah. I think I
Yeah,
got
so
what
if
you're
you're
saying.
in the left box this year, plant in the right box
In the right box next year.
next year.
Okay.
And just keep
gotcha.
flip-flopping.
That sort of makes sense. All
Yep.
right. Very interesting.
And then also with planter boxes too, I'm one to reuse soil as much as I can and as often as I can, but still we're every time we plant in those boxes, we're using up all the minerals and everything in the soil, so it's always good to replenish
Okay.
too. And tomatoes, some of those diseases can live in the soil too, so we want to take good care in changing out our soil a little more frequently with vegetables and such. And also, even in a planter box, I would still mulch around tomatoes so you don't get that soil splash up that creates some of those problems with tomatoes.
Gotcha. Again, we are here with Leah from Jung Garden Center here on the Garden Doctor on 95.3 WBEV. If you've got a question about your gardening, the Garden Doctor's only here with us a couple more weeks here during peak season, and it's really that time where everybody's getting things into the ground
Yeah.
and getting things ready, so you don't want to wait too long. Again, our phone number is 885-4446 or 887-9595, and as we await our next call, I want to talk a little bit today about vegetable gardens.
Yeah.
And vegetable gardening, because this is that time of year where you're working on that a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about just kind of where to get started with a vegetable garden?
Sure, if you've got your plot ready to go. I mean, sometimes it takes a little while to get rid of the sod that's there if you're starting from brand new. Rototill it up and make sure you try to get rid of as many weeds as you can and work the soil as least as amount as you can, because again, we're stirring up all the weed seeds that are existing there, and once we wake them up, then they can take over. But perfect time to start like our broccolis and lettuces, all of our cole crops, onions, things like that. We're right on the edge of tomatoes and peppers, but we do have a couple cold nights tonight and tonight and Friday night.
Yeah, I think tonight and Friday
Or
night
maybe
it's
just
gonna get a little
tonight.
cool.
Yep.
Yep.
So those if you've already have some of those planted, you might want to give them some extra protection.
Okay, maybe
tonight.
cover them up. For
Yeah,
the
they
next
don't
couple
like
nights
to be
here.
cold. So.
Sure.
Yep.
If somebody has not done a vegetable garden before, and they've got a nice space for it, and they say, "Hey, I want to do a vegetable garden this year," but they're like, "All right, there's a lot of things to choose from to do in a vegetable garden." For a beginner, what are some of the veggies you would suggest starting with to kind of get yourself acquainted?
First of all, I would say always start small.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good tip.
you think that you can handle all of it, and we like everything, but know what you can manage in a year or two. I would say just start with 4 or 5 items that are your favorites: a tomato, cucumbers, green beans. They're all pretty easy to start by seed too. Well, tomatoes, it's a little late for that, but buying a finished plant. But think of the space that you have and how you want to use it for you and your family.
Yeah.
What you're going to use, how you're going to use it if you're canning or anything like that. But just start small, because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah,
if you're not used to it.
It definitely can be. What are some of the veggies you might put in a vegetable garden that maybe need a little extra care and you might need a little more practice? Want to move on to some of these things.
Well, some of the squashes you have to be aware of, like the squash vine borer, because they are usually at like the soil level, like right on the stem there, and they often get hidden with the foliage. So we need to kind of keep an eye on those too. And but there's most everything is pretty easy. And
yeah, we talked a little bit about earlier about the prep for doing a vegetable garden. But if you're looking to put a vegetable garden in your on your property, is there anything in particular you want to look for that's going to make a good area before you get prepping?
Just the amount of sunshine it's going to receive.
Okay.
We want at least 6 to 8 hours of good full sun.
Gotcha. So if you've got a shady spot with a lot of trees, probably not the ideal spot for a vegetable
Correct.
garden.
Yeah. There are some of the cooler season vegetables, lettuce and spinach. They can tolerate more shade too, because they don't like to be hot.
Okay.
So there are a few things that we could do in a shadier spot, but most vegetables need a good amount of sunshine.
Sure. Again, our phone number here, if you've got a question for the Garden Doctor, is 885-4446. That's 885-4446. Or you can shoot us a text message at 887-9595. We've got another question coming in here on the text line asking about, speaking of a vegetable garden, fleas in the veggie garden. Well, what do you do there?
I have never encountered fleas in the garden. I would imagine that there's got to be some kind of like a dust out there, like a insecticide dust to use to sprinkle on the ground. I honestly don't even know. I don't know. I've never had to deal with that.
All right. Well, it sounds like somebody's got themselves a unique problem there.
Sorry, I couldn't help you out.
885-4446 is the phone number to call in, or 887-9595 is the text line. We are here with the Garden Doctor. This is a paid presentation of Jung Garden Center. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of Good Comer Brands Management or its employees. Leah from Jung Garden Center is with us answering all of your gardening-related questions. And I want to go back and touch on very popular item right now, the hanging baskets.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the different varieties of the hanging baskets you've got out there at Jung Garden Center?
We have quite the selection. Of course, there's a lot of different petunias because, there's every single color out there just about. Geraniums, we've got fuchsias, we've got begonias. There's just a lot of just mixes. We've got Thunbergia, that's a black-eyed Susan vine that just crawls all over everything, and portulacas, and that's like a good heat-tolerant plant too. Wide variety of hanging baskets out there. They're beautiful.
Do you get a chance to work on some of these and putting them together and selecting kind of what they're going to look like at all?
Yes. We have our team that we search our catalogs and we kind of pick out the varieties that we like the best, or we tweak it to, like, if we have problems growing this plant, but we can sub it for another plant. A lot of our vendors put together combos in their catalogs, and you can purchase as they are or mix and match.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point to make. Do you, have you been doing this long enough where, like, you're kind of looking through the catalog and you see one and you go, oh, you know what? This one on page 7 would go perfect with the one I saw on page 2. Like, is that kind of start how your brain works a little bit?
And believe it or not, we have to start ordering and planning all of this in September and October.
Oh, I never think about that. Like, that's kind of lost on me that you're what you're seeing there now was already being planned last fall already.
Yep. And same on the catalog side. They're already putting together, they have put together our fall catalog.
Yeah.
And plants are starting to come in for that.
We're here with Leah from Jung Garden Center. This is the Garden Doctor program, answering all of your gardening-related questions. 920-885-4446 is the phone number if you want to call in with a question. Otherwise, feel free to text us at 920-887-9595. There's just so many different things that we could talk about. Peonies.
Yeah.
Peonies have become very popular, particularly in this area. Obviously, the big Peony Fest coming up later this summer here in Beaver Dam. Talk a little bit about peonies. What kind of area do you need for them, and just talk about them in general a little bit.
Yeah. So peonies also like a full sun area. They don't always necessarily like to be disturbed. We are building our peony production. So next year we will have quite the variety of peonies, trying to coincide with the Peony Festival here in town. We do have some available at our stores now too, but we're hoping to make it an event as well. Most of ours are field dug, so we grow ours in our fields, and then we divide every year and provide for our garden centers and for our catalog.
Okay, very good. And I see we got a text coming in as we were talking about that, asking about peonies and best way to transplant those.
Usually it's done in the fall.
Okay.
If it has to be done now, it would be perfect to do it now, so it has time to settle in over the summer, get some good spring rains, and temperatures are cooler now. But most of the time, peonies are divided in the fall.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yep.
that's a good time to do that. Again, Leah from Jung Garden Center is here with us, the Garden Doctor. Our phone number is 885-4446, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. What about hydrangeas? What are we doing with hydrangeas this time of year?
We're always talking about hydrangeas.
Always talking about hydrangeas. Can't go without talking about hydrangeas.
Right. So again, we've got our different types of hydrangeas. The macrophyllus, the arborescens, and the paniculatas. And the macrophyllus are the purple, blue, pink types.
Okay.
With the lack of snowfall that we've had, there's probably going to be plenty of hydrangeas out there that aren't going to bloom this year.
Okay.
Because they flower on old wood, and we didn't have the snow to help protect those stems from last year.
Okay.
The arborescens and the paniculatas, that's like the big snowballs and the pink and white cone-shaped ones. No problems there. They can handle it, and they flower on new wood. So
I'm glad to hear that, because I've got a neighbor across the street that has a bunch of those around their house.
Yep.
And it looks, it's all I see when I look out my big front picture window. So it's beautiful every year.
Yeah.
I love the look of those hydrangeas. Those are awesome. Again, 885-4446. You can call in if you've got a question for the Garden Doctor, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. Let's talk, we talked a little bit about veggie gardens. Let's go back and talk about something kind of related. Asparagus.
Yeah.
Is this time of year we're getting that planted? How does that look?
Yeah, perfect time. Still roots available in our stores. Perfect time. And actually, I'm harvesting mine right now.
Are you?
Yeah. So,
Do you have a lot of asparagus by you, or just a little bit? Do you have enough to feed the family?
enough to feed the family. It's kind of died off a little bit over the years, but because I've neglected it, because I'm sometimes that kind of a gardener. But
Well, I don't know. I mean, allegedly, like asparagus is like hard to kill off. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be an easy
Yep.
one. Well, I apparently I am a miracle worker because I managed to kill off asparagus I
Sure.
actually wanted to keep that was already in my garden when I
Yeah.
bought my house. So I was pretty bummed about that.
yeah.
885-4446 is the phone number to call if you've got a question for the garden doctor, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. And we've got another text coming in here asking a little bit about soil when it comes to the vegetable garden. Is it okay to use some of last year's soil, all of last year's soil? You want to completely swap that out? What do you want to be thinking about when it comes to soil for your vegetable garden?
So if it's an in-ground vegetable garden, it's always best to just kind of keep adding a little bit to it every year. Some compost, sometimes even shredded leaves. I don't really recommend grass clippings, especially if you're fertilizing your lawn. But any kind of organic matter that you can kind of work back into the soil is good. And kind of same with a raised bed too.
Okay.
You know, we do offer a raised bed mix at Jung's too,
Okay.
designed specifically for above ground planting.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
always good to replenish here and there.
Yeah. 885-4446 is the phone number, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. This is also kind of that time of year where we're starting to think about our herb gardens. And if somebody's thinking about, I know a lot of people in this area like to do, like a windowsill or deck edge, hanging herb garden. Where's a good place to start if you're going to be doing that?
I would say just look for the ones that you know that you enjoy. Chives, oregano, thyme, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yep.
How you're going to use it too. And with herbs, a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
So.
Basil. I mean, is that something? Can you fit that into a deck edge or windowsill hanger? Do you want a little bit bigger pot for the basil? That's a little bit bigger plant.
It all depends on the variety, because
Okay.
there are some that will get tall, and then we also have some that are meant more for a smaller area as well.
Gotcha. Again, talking with Leah from Jung Garden Center here on the Garden Doctor. 4446 885-4446 is the number to call in with your question, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. What other things should we be thinking about this time of year? I mean, are we wanting to do a little bit of spring pruning on rose plants, rose bushes?
Well, I'm glad you asked about pruning, because I was gonna try
Yeah.
to jump in on that. Yes, pruning roses, you should be able to see if there's any dieback on your roses. The stems would be black. So prune all the way down to the green stem. You should be, I'm assuming most of them are leafed out by now too. And even just for height management too. If you've tried to overwinter hybrid teas, you might not have had such great success, again, with lack of snowfall. One thing to consider too is like the spring blooming shrubs, like the forsythias and the lilacs. We want to wait until after they're done blooming to do any pruning on those. And lilacs, most of those we say you have up until July 4th is kind of the cutoff.
Gotcha.
So you want to do the pruning after they're done blooming, up until that time, because they set their flower buds for the next year.
Gotcha. Again, 885-4446 is the phone number. 887-9595 if you want to shoot us a text. Got another text coming in on the text line here. This is, I've had this one too. How on earth do I keep the rabbits from getting into my beautiful tulips?
Good luck.
That's about what I have found myself.
You'll have, best way is, and it's unsightly, is to probably just put some chicken wire around it.
Yeah.
And some kind of repellent. We have different repellents in our stores as well. You could try like a cayenne pepper, sprinkle that on the ground. Yeah, they're buggers.
I heard once like lemongrass and mint, allegedly. If you put that, they don't like that scent. I tried that once. It didn't really
No.
seem to help. They were just hungry enough for those tulips that
Yep.
they're like, yeah, I can deal with a little
Yep.
stinky smell. No
Yep.
problem there. Again, talking with Leah from the Jung Garden Center here on The Garden Doctor on 95.3 WBEV. 885-4446 is the phone number if you want to call in, or 887-9595 if you want to shoot us a text. And we've got another caller hanging on the line. We'll head over to line 1. Good morning. You are on with the Garden Doctor.
Hey, good morning there. I was wondering, I've got this transformer in the middle of my yard, and I was just wondering if it would be okay to plant flowers around it, or would the electromagnetic waves have any effect upon it?
That's a great question. I don't think I've ever thought about electric magnetic waves around my plants.
It should be okay. The only thing I would suggest is keeping in mind that the electrical company can come in and destroy those flowers at any given time if they need to service that transformer. Keep it simple. Keep it something that's not going to have a really large root system.
Right.
Yeah, just remember that they have the right of way to it. So as unsightly as it is, just keep that in mind. I have like some Rudbeckia and Cara Forester grass and a sedum near mine.
Okay.
But if you can see like where the service panel is, like where they might need to get into it, keep
Right.
that open.
So stay away from that.
Yeah, yeah. Or they could show up one day.
Yeah, anytime.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
And they don't care.
Yeah, they're just going to start digging.
Yep.
Trust me.
Yep.
They got a job to do.
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much for the call this morning.
Hey, thank you much. You guys have a great day.
You
you
as
as
well. Again, and if you've got a question, you can call in just like he did at 885-4446, or shoot us a text at 887-9595. And we've got another text coming in here on the text line. I've got a rhubarb plant that's thriving but has large blooms coming up in the center. Do I need to remove them? Do I leave them alone? What the heck am I doing with those?
Yeah. Yep. Always remove the seed heads.
Okay, remove this. So those are seed heads,
Yep.
and you do want to remove
Yep.
those once you
Yep.
see them.
Yeah.
All right,
And
very good.
remember that the rhubarb leaves are toxic too, so just
Yes,
get rid of those.
that
as
is.
well.
Yeah, that's a very
Yep.
important lesson. Don't if you're doing rhubarb, get them leaves out of there
Yeah.
because those are not good. You're gonna end up pretty sick. You just want to harvest rhubarb. Any tricks to harvesting good rhubarb?
I always pull my stems. I don't
Okay.
cut them
Okay.
unless I have to. I don't know if there's a truth to that or not. I've always heard just pull the stems.
Interesting. All right. Again, 885-4446 is the phone number if you want to call in. Still got a few minutes left here with Leah from Jung Garden Center. If you got a question you want to ask, or you can shoot us a text like several folks have been doing here at 887-9595. We got another text coming in here asking about hibiscus. We're getting those warm temperatures. We were
Yeah.
just talking earlier on about kind of more tropical type plants. Hibiscus very popular in those tropical climates. Obviously, they're dealing with a little bit different climate here in Wisconsin. We do see them here. Is that something you're going to have to replace every year? Is there a way to keep those year after year?
Well, there is also a perennial hibiscus too.
Okay.
And those are hitting our stores as we speak too. So,
Gotcha.
and those are they're like the dinner plate blooms.
Oh.
They're great big huge blooms that you see usually July, August.
Okay. Gotcha.
Those are hardy. Those are perennial. They are late to break their dormancy. So if you do plant one, you probably aren't going to see any growth until probably the end of May into June.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Are there? Is that something you can? Is that something you could put in a large enough planter and bring in during the winter months that would keep it going?
Those you don't need to.
Okay.
Those can go right into the ground. The tropical hibiscus, yes, you can.
Gotcha. Again, Leah from Jung Garden Center here is with us on the Garden Doctor, answering all of your gardening-related questions. 885-4446 is the phone number to call in, or 887-9595 is where you can shoot us a text, as we've gotten a number of those in today. We've got a little break in the calls and texts. What else should we be touching on and thinking about this time of year here, as we are really in that true transition into the warm weather now.
Yeah.
It looks, according to the forecast, 5, 6, 7 day forecast, it looks like they're going to be around to stay. So what other things should we be thinking about as those temps warm up?
Just start planting.
Start planting.
Have fun with it. One thing to think about too is like lawn fertilizer too. Like next round of fertilizer, we usually say about when the lilacs are blooming.
Okay.
So that's when you want to start your weed and feed.
Is this the time of year that you're wanting to do kind of the crabgrass preventer? Is that almost past and we're now getting into that next phase?
You can still do it, but
okay.
Yeah, and as the soil starts to warm up, then we're starting to lose time on that, because the seeds are starting to want to germinate.
Okay, very good. We talked a little bit about vegetable gardens earlier. What about fruits? Are we in that time of year where a lot of fruits are getting planted?
Yes, absolutely. We have a huge selection of fruit trees, apples, you name it. We've got strawberry plants, we've got blueberries, raspberries, lot of fun apple trees. So yes.
Okay.
Dream away.
There you go. Again, 885-4446, the phone number to call if you've got a question for Leah from Jung Garden Center, or you can shoot us a text at 887-9595. And it looks like we got a question coming in on the text line, and we may actually even be past this point, but how long can tomato plants remain in nursery pots before transplanting them to the garden?
As long as they're well watered.
Okay.
There's still some time on there where, we don't want them outside just yet. Otherwise, if you want to go through the hassle of protecting them, but there's still a couple weeks yet. As long as they stay watered and you're caring for them, there's,
Gotcha.
Still a couple weeks.
The other thing, one of the things I want to touch on today is with the warm weather, and I hate to say this, I know people are like, don't remind us this is coming. With that warm weather comes all the critters and all the bugs and insects. What are some of the most common insect issues we see when it comes to gardening here in our area, and some of the things you can do to help out with that?
A lot of it is like aphids.
Those darn aphids.
They like to attack just about everything. But then when we get into our vegetable gardens, like I said, the squash vine borer and flea beetles, and we've got the cucumber beetle and the potato beetle, and there's even an asparagus beetle.
Oh my goodness! And I didn't know that, asparagus beetle.
Yep,
okay, I'm gonna pick one up one day and just randomly find something and pick it up. Show my kids, like, yeah, this is an asparagus beetle. Don't look it up. Just trust me. This is it.
And then of course the dreaded Japanese beetle too.
Oh
So.
yes. Yeah, I had some of those here in the yard that tried to kind of come after my river birch a couple years ago.
Yes, they love birches.
Yeah, they do. I think I've solved the issue now. But the other one that we get here not too long from now is those pesky mosquitoes.
Yes.
I have heard things over the years. There's kind of some different things you can do with your garden to help with those. Are there some things you could put in your garden to maybe help with that a little bit?
Keep an eye on the standing water. You know, sometimes we might leave a pot lay in the ground or whatever, anything that can collect water and sit there for a while. It's a breeding ground for mosquitoes. We do offer a product. It's called Mosquito Bits. You can drop that in like your watering can or sprinkle it in the soil to kind of help.
It's like a powder?
It's like a granular.
Like a granule. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very good.
The bits are kind of like grape nut cereal.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Sure. And then there's like little dunks that you can put in your pond or watering can to to use to water your flowers with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We're here with Leah from Jung Garden Center. We're on the Garden Doctor. We're just about out of time. Do want to remind folks and just touch again, there's just so much going on right now at Jung Garden Center. So let's just and actually before we do that, we got in just under the wire, one more caller here coming up. We'll head over to line 1. Good morning. You are on with the Garden Doctor.
Good morning. Got a quick question here for you. If just a couple of weeks ago, I planted some grass seed, new soil, dug out the old. What's your rule of thumb? I know within usually about 7 days it should start germinating, but if it's been 2 weeks yet and I haven't seen, there's not one single new grass seed that's growing up yet, sprouting. Would you start over, or just with the climate? You know, I don't know if the soil's been a little too cool yet. Maybe I don't know. What's your thought?
First question is going to be, how often are you watering it?
Every day. Every morning. I try to do it before 10 o'clock.
Okay. So it sounds like you're doing everything okay. I would probably throw some more grass seed down. Also, my second concern is maybe the birds are getting at the seed.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of birds in our yards right now, and they're hungry too. So kind of keep an eye on that. Do you have any kind of like straw down to cover the seed?
You know, typically I normally do that, or burlap bags. You know, but I did not do that this year. So it was just spots around the lawn is what I'm basically doing.
Yeah. So then you don't necessarily need the straw for that, but I think I would just start over. It sounds. I would almost guess that you probably have
those birds got into it.
Maybe with after it.
Maybe with this year not doing the burlap or the straw, the birds took advantage.
Yeah, even maybe put some kind of small fencing over it or something to try to keep them out. Or don't give up. Just try again.
Just kind of work up the ground again a little bit, the top layer. Just throw some seed in and.
Yeah, just maybe fluff that soil again because it's probably settled a little bit, and I don't think you need to replace it or anything.
No,
but just work it up again, and then just make sure everything stays watered. Maybe even try watering it again in the evening too.
Okay. I know you're short of time here, but isn't it like later in the afternoon? Doesn't that get bad for those? I've heard in the past that the grass becomes maybe too waterlogged before nighttime, or have you ever heard anything like that or not?
Sometimes it can, but we're trying to. We don't want that seed to dry out though either, because then and make sure there's enough soil contact too. So you might even need to just spread just a small amount of soil over the top too. Just to make sure, or like take your rake and just kind of lightly. Rake it in a little bit. You don't have to completely cover it, but just make sure that there's good soil contact there.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you so much for the call. And we're just about out of time. But, Leah, if you would remind folks of all the great things happening at Jung Garden Center right now.
Yeah. Again, right now, starting tomorrow, 12-inch hanging baskets. Buy one, get one half off while supplies last. There's different gifts for mom that are under $30. We've got spring blooming trees on sale, 50% off, a couple of different crab apples and dwarf Korean lilac. We also have a couple hydrangea trees that are 50% off while supplies last, a limelight tree and a vanilla strawberry tree. Beautiful. Mother's Day summer bulbs are 35% off, Glad's dahlias and such. Great staff over at our garden centers. So if you have any questions.
You've got a really knowledgeable staff over there. We haven't touched on that today, but they really kind of know what they're talking about and they're passionate about what they do too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is the perfect week to get in there with Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. Do a little shopping for mom.
Yep.
Remind folks of your hours.
Sure. Randolph store hours are Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. We're always closed on Sundays. Madison stores Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 5, and Sunday, 10 to 4.
And you do have just a huge selection. Where can folks find you online if they might be a few weeks before they can get out to the store? Where can they find you online?
So our catalog is also available online.
Okay.
That is separate from our garden centers, but most of the product is still there as well.
Okay, very good. Just check out the Jung website there, and you guys are on Facebook as well.
Yep. We have a Jung Seed website and Facebook, and we've got Jung Garden Center website and Facebook as well.
All right, fantastic. Leah from Jung Garden Center, always great to catch up with you.
Yeah,
Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
That is going to do it for the Garden Doctor. The preceding program was a paid presentation of Jung Garden Center. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of Good Comer Brands, its management, or its employees.